on a freezing cold day. It is literally 33 degrees right now, and I think it says it feels like 29. You know, I've got so many layers on, I'm actually a little warm, which is pretty cool because I'm not very good with cold weather. Today, I want to talk about why I'm out here and I'm not just chasing bangers. And another perfect tool for chasing this particular thought around photography is film photography. So I've got my film camera with me as well, and I'm trying to shoot an entire roll today. Ilford HP5 black and white film, 35 millimeter. Well, this tree is one of my go-to stop by and talk locations, I suppose, when I come here. I really like how it looks aesthetically and in images, and I think this just perpetuates something I've talked about on my channel a lot, which is to go to the same locations, Arabian Mountain, and photograph the same things, this tree, over and over again, and seeing how different days, different styles, different weather conditions affect the images. And today I feel like there's a lot more like visibility around than the other times I've been here, which is pretty cool and interesting. Of course, it's very cold. It's very dry as well. But also, like, you know, the puddles, some of them are like slightly frozen over. How can I take a cool image of that? Are things I've been working on. To talk about why not to take photos for bangers, let's identify what is a banger first. We often measure a banger based off how it does socially to other people, and usually where do we put our bangers? On social media. Sometimes to a negative effect, you try to cater your work towards social media or to how people are going to react to it, and I don't think that's always the best in terms of what's going to get you to actually make your best work. I'm going on a photo walk. Obviously, I want to take bangers, right? Not necessarily. I think what I do as a photographer is try to document my photo walk. I'm not saying that's what everybody should do, but I think in order to make bangers, you got to make a lot of photos. At the end of the day, just make photos. Just make photos. But you want them to be good photos. You want them to mean something. I really think for the majority of photos, that part comes later. I think if you focus on taking a good photo, technically sound, and has an interesting subject, interesting composition, the subject can matter to you in the moment, of course, but the photo itself is going to matter a lot more later on. This is definitely a pretty unique looking location, and things that I can try to accentuate are the different textures of rocks. I can try and compose images with the different hills and kind of fractures of the rocks and trees. Not every image is going to be great, and I need to work on how to compose the images. Look at different things. What is going to be the piece of this location that you want to bring away with you in these images? And to me, it's this otherworldly atmosphere. It represents a lot of solitude. Like, I'm the only person here. Usually when I come here, there are other people. I think it's just a little too cold today, but even when there are other people, you know, it's very spread out. So can I represent that in my images? That is the challenge, more so than trying to get bangers, more so than trying to get something to share. What parts of me can I put in these images before I share them? That's going to make them better images. And I see one right here that I want to try for, which is a bunch of puddles. So upon taking that puddle shot and walking around a little bit more, kind of here at the top of the mountain where I've been for a little bit, one cool thing is, yeah, the puddles are kind of frozen. They're not like fully frozen, but parts of them are. But the main thing that can really make photos interesting here, I'm like 2 or 3 feet lower than like the sitting point of some of these puddles. And so I'm able to get a pretty interesting shot and angle of some of these puddles without like leaning down on the ground, which would also make for an interesting shot, but in a completely different way. And that way you can kind of create some depth going towards the puddle, but also still seeing some background. Recently, I was looking through some pictures that I took in Croatia, and I made a little post on my Instagram at Tony King Pics if you want to follow me there, by the way. Something about these images, especially paired with music, but really just the images as a whole, like gave me this overwhelming nostalgic feeling. Not something I'm necessarily nostalgic for. That's the story or the theme or the emotion behind these particular images that really struck me. And in the moment when I'm making that image, I'm just trying to make an aesthetically pleasing image with an interesting subject that I like, that I enjoy. And then later on, that image grows to mean something more that I couldn't have necessarily predicted when I first took that image. And I think if you try to anticipate too much what an image is going to do in the long run, you might miss certain opportunities in the meantime. So today, as I'm taking photos, I'm gonna make an image that represents this moment now, and hopefully at some point it will mean something to me, or maybe I'll just say that's a nice photo. In terms of film photography, so far I've shot a little over half the roll. In terms of what I've decided to take images of, they kind of go in line with other images I'm taking, but how they might be suited to the lens that I have on that camera, which is a 55. I'm trying to envision it in black and white. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see the film images from today. One thing that I struggle with film is feeling that all the images are too precious. They all have to be good. They have to be the best, or else it's not worth taking it, because I'm paying money to have the film, to develop the film. And frankly, my last several film rolls, my last 3, like I only got a few images back from each, and it should make the film feel like more precious. But I think if I focus too much on that, I'm not ever going to learn how to take film photos. I need to learn by making more images, testing out new things, and becoming better at it through practice. If I keep treating it like it's so precious, like every image needs to be a banger, well then I'm never going to be good at film photography. And I'd like to be, just so I could say that I am. Another deliberate choice I made today was to walk the path differently. And what I mean by that is literally just walk a different direction. So although I have encountered several little spots that I've photographed before, seen before, I'm seeing them at a different time of my walk, a different point of my walk. Obviously the weather and everything is different today too, but some places that are like one of the last things I would photograph were kind of in the middle or one of the first. I felt that has completely changed how I've taken some of those images, and also, I've been able to see new things and from different angles. I think that's a tip that I gave in my video when I talked about photographing the same locations, and something that maybe I just needed a reminder of. So I finished my film roll, and I think I can be very satisfied with myself that I was able to actually shoot an entire roll on a walk, not just trying to chase a banger and a precious image. Helped me just go ahead and take images. Don't chase bangers, chase images. Hopefully you can take that from this video. I've been Tony King. If you want more videos just like this, but also way different, but all about photography, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and stick around for that. I've been Tony King. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.